Welcome back. This morning, more than 1 million Australian households face mortgage stress, with interest rates tipped to rise for the first time in just over 10 years.
Let's get today's take on this with 9 Honey commentator Shelley Horton and Nova's Tim Blackwell. Tim,
yes.
Roughly 1 in 3 families have a mortgage. This is pretty scary.
It's scary. Was it 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 11 and a half years ago?
11 and a half years ago.
So I prepped my stats for 10 years ago because it was a simpler time back then, you know, Gangnam Style and Hunger Games was out and Zac Efron got a YOLO tattoo because YOLO was cool. But it is definitely scary. I think I might get a takeaway coffee and buy a schooner and have a pub meal and work out all the things I need to cut back on. Maybe there's some big international superstars travelling to Australia very soon. Do I buy tickets? Like, that's the scary thing. Like, what do you get rid of?
I know. A couple of streaming services.
A couple of streaming services, that coffee.
This is what everyone is thinking about now, Shelley, isn't it?
It is, but I don't like cutting back. I like doing more. But it is. I mean, and that's the thing is you actually have to look at your budget and what you can afford because everyone's in different situations. So I think that we need to realise this is happening. I had to ask my Uber driver why having the interest rate going up is good for the economy, and apparently it's for people buying stocks and for people who are actually going to be having more risk and return. But it just feels pretty unfair for the rest of us who are counting pennies.
People buying stocks.
I think the hope is that it will temper the inflation, the out-of-control inflation rate.
Yeah, I think that's what's
Terrified.
Yeah, it's really stressful because also making news, we're learning the true extent of the wild weather that's having on Aussie properties. So the Climate Council this morning issued a warning that 1 in 25 homes could be uninsurable by 2030. Shelley, that includes 1 in 10 homes in certain areas as well, including the Gold Coast. The scale of this impact, you know, we saw the flooding and the fires in the last couple of years and the climate emergency that's basically now here. What are we going to do about this? Because we've stuck our heads in the sand and now it's going to hurt everybody.
I've got to say, moving up to Queensland, I felt it. It was so close to us. Right. We had friends in Byron, friends in Lismore. My husband went down to work in Lismore and just the absolute devastation. Part of me wonders if you just get to that point where you go, yes, it's climate change and therefore Lismore cannot have a huge population anymore because we can't keep expecting the insurance companies to pay out because they choose to live there. But I'm unsure. Tim's been schooling me.
Well, see, you should have Dr. Carl on before me every time because I will appear much smarter.
OK.
So Dr. Carl told me this, right? This is not new, guys. There's this big company called Munich Re. Now, it's these reinsurance companies. And he said in 1973 they increased their rates due to climate-based insurance payouts. 49 years ago. They knew that climate was affecting insurance 49 years ago. They apparently also knew about smoking being harmful for your health before medical professionals told the rest of the world too, because it was bottom line stuff. It was dollars and cents.
What do we do? We can't just keep moving towns.
No, we can't keep... But it's not new. The government... This is not a new thing that we have to start talking about. This has been going on for ages.
But the problem is it's new for people who have to pay insurance every year on their houses. In some places it could be up to $30,000 a year and that's uninsurable.
Who can afford $30,000 for insurance that you're not even sure if you'll
salary,
need?
you know?
It's crazy. But you're right, like the year we were born, 1973.
Yeah. So
we finally need everyone to go, let's take action.
Yes.
Like it's getting to that point. We can't have climate deniers. It's just getting to the point where we actually need to go, how are we going to do this? And let's move forward as a nation.
Planning for the future just seems like
Get
such
Dr.
a
Carl
novel idea, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Anyway.
I know.
Guys, stay with us when we come back. Why thousands of school students are being told to stop eating ham sandwiches.
And paging Dolly Parton. Paging Dolly Parton. She's ditched her phone. How do you get in touch with her? I'll always love her, though.
Welcome back. This morning, families are being urged to consider other options instead of the humble ham sandwich. The Cancer Council has been sending leaflets to public schools urging students to ditch the sanger as part of a health campaign to get children to eat better.
Shelley and Tim are back to discuss this, and Shelley did a full-on head tilt side-eye to me. Wondering what the vegan's going to ask her.
That was my exact
Tell
thought.
me, Shelley, what you think about this.
Here's the thing, Mr. Vegan. In my day, we're the same age, 48.
Keep reminding me.
And school, when you had a ham sandwich, that was posh.
Exactly.
You'd have your ham sandwich and your tip-top bread. happy days.
In Queensland, posh or risky in
Oh,
Queensland?
yeah. Could go off.
40 degrees.
Especially if you're leaving your bag for a couple of days.
No, Mum would freeze them and then they'd defrost by lunchtime.
Yeah,
and
I used to
you'd
get
eat
them frozen
right?
too, yeah.
So I don't understand this at all. You're talking protein, and I think there are so many other things that parents are being hassled about. Like,
I don't know.
seriously.
Do we want to throw shade on the Cancer Council though, Tim?
Yes, get your snout out of my lunchbox. Because firstly, snout. I was halfway between words then. I can't take nuts. There's no sesame. We have a nude school, so you can't take rubbish, which is.
What? That's a weird...
What?
Yeah, I know. So no uniforms and no rubbish. No, there's uniforms. No, but meaning you can't take anything with packaging, right?
Right,
so
yeah, of course.
you have to take care of the rubbish yourself.
Yeah.
And they're running around. I mean, that's our culture to a ham and cheese sandwich. Like I went to school with the Greek kids and stuff that are like meze plates and things.
Yeah, how good.
Yeah,
Let's just steal their food.
Parties.
And the ham and cheese is our culture.
No, but it's not. But here's the problem: is if you're like me, when I grew up in 1973, I used to get the frozen ham roll, right? And my kids, by the way, had ham sandwiches this morning. But I would stop eating them after a while because you know what? We got them every day, and it's goddamn boring.
Oh no, I mix it up. I do Vegemite and cheese. Sometimes
Yeah.
Vegemite
I
and
didn't even
lettuce.
get a mix-up. I would just have 5 ham sandwiches by the end of the week because I'd be scabbing everybody else.
Everyone in Kingaroy had peanut butter sandwiches, trust me.
can't do that.
They're peanut capital.
So the takeout is just don't have one every single day.
That's it. Just make it once in a while.
Turn it back to a treat.
Hey, what about Dolly Parton? Though?
Yeah, let's talk about Dolly.
Love,
so if you
love.
ever want to get in touch with Dolly Parton, you have to reach her the old-fashioned way. One of Dolly's close friends has revealed the only way to get a hold of the pop star is by fax machine because she doesn't have a smartphone. Genius, Shelley.
Love it. I love
it.
Because she's basically God now.
Well, she hears from no one, I guess.
Who has a fax machine to even contact her? But I've just never loved anyone more than Dolly Parton. I love the higher the hair, the closer to God. I love that she didn't have children because her mum had so many kids, and she said, my mother always had one honour and one inner. So she's like,
Oh, wow.
it turned me off having kids.
Wow.
I'm like, this is Dolly. Great.
She's great at
I love
breastfeeding.
her.
Oh my God, Dolly is in. Yes, there's plenty of kids that missed out there.
Now, look, what about the fax machine, though, Tim, to get you off that and stop you being cancelled? This is like when you see, like, Robert De Niro just has a flip phone. Do you know what I mean? Like, these old-time superstars.
Well, Bill
they don't
Murray.
care.
So Bill Murray, right, has a 1-800 number.
He does too.
And occasionally he checks it, and it doesn't beep when he gets a voice message or whatever. And I remember this could be made up, but I hope it's not. Sophia Coppola tried to get him for Lost in Translation, and rang the 1-800 number and left the message, and he got the message, and apparently turned up like 3 weeks after they started shooting, going, "I'm here. Where do you want me?"
Oh, wow.
Like obviously a really awful person to work with, very unreliable. But for us to sit here now, very cool.
It's a big flex, isn't it?
It is
Yeah.
a 1-800 number.
Thanks,
Very
you too. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon. Next on Today Extra, the condition millions of Aussies are living with but don't even realise they have. The health check you need to have today.